Line up, you fucking nerds. Who wants a shot at the champ?
The money line is live, my friend. Mike, what's popping, brother? We're about to kill it for UFC Vegas 47. How you feeling?
Oh, I'm feeling so good, man. You always got to be pumped up to see a Sean Strickland fight, one of the craziest human beings on this planet. He just happens to be a cage fighter, so super amped for this card, man. Like the comments say over here, lots of live dogs, lots of fun fights that are hard to pick, but that's our job, so we'll get to it.
Hell yeah, bro. I'm excited to do the picks with you on this one. I'll be honest, not a better career for somebody like Sean Strickland as fighting in a cage, man. Like true modern day savage. The things he says, did you see Media Day? It was nuts.
He's nuts. Yeah, he's absolutely nuts. You know, it's been one of those guys where I'm like, do I want to interview him? Am I going to get in trouble? What is Sean Strickland going to say where I'm going to be like, do I publish this? Like, he's even at the press conference, he was absolutely bonkers. Seeing his videos that he's been putting out, you know, just a bizarre human being. But, you know, we talked about it a little bit off air. Definitely different, which is nice. I see too many people maybe censor themselves too much. You know, Strickland's completely on the other end. Who doesn't love that?
I love the guy, man. I'll be honest. It's refreshing to see. I want a guy that tells it exactly how he feels. And if people don't like him, they're free to not watch him. But I will be tuning into Sean Strickland every time he fights, man. 100%.
Facts. Absolutely. And on top of that, he likes to get into crazy fights. He likes to talk to people while he's fighting them. You got to have fun watching Sean Strickland fights. Absolutely.
Yeah. If you're a fan of the fight game, Sean Strickland's your guy. We got a pretty nice card, like throughout the whole thing. Some fun fights, some good underdogs, some short notice matchups. It is a card to look forward to. I cannot wait to get into the picks. To the people watching, special announcement. Everyone watching, I'll say it again at the end, but early, I'll say this now. If you can check the link in the description after this, give me a vote. If you want your boy AJ from MMA Experts to join the full send team, I made the top 20. I got the poll linked in the description. Give me a vote, help me out, and let's get mainstream, bro. That would really pop us off if we do pull that one out, man.
That would be fun. Guys, show AJ some love. Go ahead and give him a vote. You don't have to put in your email, tell him your social security number. You just click. Go ahead and click, vote. We appreciate it.
It's easy. Click, vote, and share it with 10 to 50 of your closest friends. Everybody you know, share that thing with it. If you support me, if you like me, share that. Send it to every group chat. Even somebody you barely know, say, listen, vote for this guy. We're going to have issues. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. Call your mom. Call your sister. Let's make sure AJ gets his spot.
Call the crazy aunt, the wild uncle, the cousin you haven't talked to in several years. Make sure I get
my... They got an internet connection, they count. They count.
If they got an internet connection, give them a vote. I don't care where they are. So show your boy some love. Thank you guys for the support. The grind continues. We love it. Covering the best sport on the planet, MMA. And I could not be happier to be doing the money line with my dog, Mike Finch, man. I'm excited as hell for this card, bro. We can talk all day before. We could do an MMA news show, really, but we got picks to talk about.
I am ready for the MMA news show. Let's go.
It might be a thing, bro. It might be a thing. We'll keep building the money line, but we got big things on the horizon. I want to start this one off. Let me bring up the first fight of the night on the screen here. It is Malcolm Gordon and Denis Bondar. Mike, I am going to let you kick this one off. I'm curious your take on this flyweight fight.
Tough fight to call, right? I mean, Malcolm Gordon, you know, powerful human being. He does have that UFC experience. So whenever you welcome a newcomer to the UFC, you wonder how comfortable they'll be, what type of performance they'll have with their virgin performance in the UFC. But, you know, Malcolm's 1-2 in the UFC. He does get a little wild at times. You know, he's not the most technically sound fighter I've ever seen. And, you know, I don't know that he can afford to make many mistakes against Bondar. I mean, Denis Bondar is very technical. You know, Denis Bondar is very well-rounded, much more responsible than Malcolm is. And, you know, both of these guys have tons of submission wins. So, you know, maybe they cancel each other out. But, you know, with the technical aspect aspects to Denis Bondar's game, and he's from Ukraine. We got to just rep our Ukraine people. I'm gonna go, with Bondar in this one. I think he's gonna go ahead and make an impressive UFC debut. Tough matchup for him, no doubt, especially against somebody else who's well versed on the ground. But I think he gets it done. I think his ability to stay more disciplined in this fight will win him a decision.
Yeah, bro, I'll be honest with you. I am on the Bondar side. Where we disagree is method of victory. You look at Malcolm Gordon's style. It is overly aggressive on the feet. He can strike a bit, right? But he'll leave openings. When he was pressing Francisco, not Davison, in the last one, I saw so many opportunities for counters. I just feel like Figueiredo was super gun shy. He didn't really have that same, sniper that his brother has. You bring somebody with a bit of pop in the hand, some decent counter striking with the kickboxing, problems for Gordon striking. He's been knocked out before. He's been hurt and submitted before. Bondar can do it all. I see him as a very well-rounded flyweight with fantastic speed. I mean, as most flyweights do, definitely superior to Malcolm Gordon in this spot. I'm with you on the Bondar pick, but I actually think we're going to see him knock Malcolm Gordon unconscious. Sleep. Good night. Good night, Malcolm, man. Malcolm Gordon, I do believe he's going to get knocked out here, bro.
Wow. Okay. Well, it makes sense because, they both have so many submission wins. You'd figure Bondar would just stick to his normal thing. But if they're going to cancel each other out on the ground, what happens. Two grapplers fight each other. They strike the whole time, right? So is that how this fight's going to play out?
I have a feeling that we might see that. Now, I may be on the opposite side, and we may see Bondar blast double leg him, pound him out, TKO him. He might even choke him out in the first. I see Bondar definitely getting the win. On the betting side of things, obviously, Bondar is a favorite that is a little bit on the wider side. I touched on this fight on this week's Best MMA Bets. He's a best value minus 250. I still think there's value to be made playing him because I really see him as a sure thing here over Malcolm Gordon.
Well, there you go. I mean, I would prefer a little better odds. I'd prefer a little better odds before going in on this one, but I'm seeing what you're seeing, man. He's much more technical. Gordon's the one who's more likely to make a mistake in this fight.
Yeah, most definitely. I'm going Bondar inside the distance. I'd say is the bet that I like most. Is about plus 100 because if you look at the style of Bondar, I could see him hurting Gordon and then submitting him like a club and sub type, situation where he hurts him, puts him down, and then he locks something up, man. I'm liking Bondar. If he can get any good work on the feet, there's going to be so many opportunities, and I expect that.
That makes perfect sense to me, man. Look, I'm excited for this one. I think it's a great one. Not a lock of the night type of fight for me, but I do like Bondar. We agree on the first one at least, yeah?
I'm glad we at least got a little agreement to start it off, man. It's the best way to start is a little agreement between us, man. Always good. I think we're in store for a great one. Now, guys, we're going to jump to the next fight, both on Bondar here to start. Also, make sure to smash that like button, guys. Show some love. If you enjoy the money line, give us a like, support us, subscribe if you're new, and turn those post notifications on. Let's jump to the second fight of the night. It is Jason Witt versus Philip Rowe. This fight is interesting to me because statistically speaking, there are some serious advantages physically for Rowe. Taller by a significant amount, 6'3" to 5'10". Massive reach advantage as well, which definitely comes into play on the feet. Also, let's note this. Jason Witt, would we call him mildly chinny, or has he just been touched by real heavy hitters?
Probably the second one.
Okay. Because I'm going to be honest, I agree with that. I don't necessarily see him as a glass jaw fighter, though he's been knocked out badly twice in the UFC by big heavy hitters. I don't see that with Rowe. He's a pretty decent kickboxer, rangy. And guys, when they have those real long arms, sometimes the boxing, especially in closer range, it's like the punches are a little fat, a little too wide. And I see like Rowe as a wide striker, of course, explosive, strong guy. I feel like the difference maker is wrestling here. There's a serious edge, in my opinion, on Jason Witt's side in the pure wrestling department. If he can consistently land takedowns, and this is one of those fights where I feel like the first round is a serious tell-all. It's one of those, maybe I want to live bet this fight type of matches. I think that if Witt can get the takedown going early, he can continue to grind and ride and win this fight by a unanimous decision. I am on the Jason Witt side here. I was very impressed against Barberina. He showed knockout power, showed resiliency, and he showed that difficult wrestling. Phil Rowe, I'm not super sold on him as UFC caliber just yet. Yes, has a win in the UFC. That was the last fight. It was against Orion Kose. You look at that first round, he struggled with the wrestling a bit. Jason Witt is a very much more seasoned, essential version of Kose. I feel, I don't want to compare fighters like exactly side by side. They're the same fighter, but Witt has a ton of experience. His wrestling is proven, and he's a very strong guy. Though he's shorter, I think that'll actually be a big advantage when he gets on top. It'll be a lot of heavy pressure. He's definitely the physically stronger of the two. I'm going Jason Witt wins by a decision, and he's an underdog. Mike, let's hear your side.
I like that breakdown. Look, something important to note here, guys, is that Jason Witt asked for this fight. This is the fight that he wanted. He actually was originally matched up with Rowe back last year. They were matched up before the holidays. The UFC couldn't keep the date, something going on with Rowe. Witt said he didn't even know what it was, why it got rescheduled. I assumed an injury or something like this. But now we're rescheduled here. Witt wanted to keep the matchup. This is the type of fight he wanted to get into because he says he's going to overwhelm him with his grappling. He thinks that his strengths are Rowe's weaknesses and that he'll be able to get a hold of him, drag him onto the ground, and just like AJ said, turn his what you would think is a deficiency, big reach disadvantage, big height disadvantage, into an advantage because he's so much more physically strong. He's going to be able to hold the hips of Rowe and really dominate position. I think all that's possible. The problem is he has to close the distance and he has to not engage too much with striking. Like AJ just told you guys, we've seen Witt get laid out, and Rowe has elbows, knees, punches, kicks, all types of weapons that Witt is going to have to get through to get to him on the ground. I think it's a riskier fight. It's a riskier bet than just simply thinking Witt's going to out-grapple him. I think Witt's going to have to eat a punch to the face. He's going to have to get kneed in the stomach while he's coming in. But I think Witt really did identify something here. He's very confident that his training partners that he's been with are mimicking Rowe to a T. I'm going to take his word for it. I'm going to have to agree with AJ again. We're doubling down on Witt. Guys, this is the fight Witt wanted. Let's see what he'll do with it. Do I think that Witt will be a champion one day? I don't see evidence for that yet. He has holes in his game as well. Just like he was talking about Rowe's holes in his game. Well, Witt's having some trouble at range with people, right? We saw him in a competitive fight with Barberena. That's not the top of the division. So he's going to have to shore up his striking. There is an opportunity here for Rowe to win. If Rowe's going to win this fight, I think it's by knockout. I think it's by TKO. So I will say this. If you're going to bet on Rowe, more than likely, he'll be getting it done on the feet with a finish. If you're going to bet on Witt, he's either going to grind this out to a decision or submit him, or, of course, if he can get like a mounted TKO or something like that, but it's going to be on the ground. If Witt wins, they're together. If Rowe wins, they're apart.
Yeah, I'm going to say you have some valuable points there. I think that if Rowe can let the hands fly and he starts, really touching Witt up, and then Witt can't get the takedown, it could be trouble. I'll agree. But I like that we're both seeing Witt having the more likely outcome, especially as an underdog. He's actually upwards of plus 135, which is decent money if you're looking to play him. On the Rowe side, you said you like knockout. So, of course, I have to talk a little bit of the props.
Please.
If Rowe has the potential to get a knockout, let's say he does, value plus 210. That's actually pretty nice, man. That's pretty good.
That's nice. That's nice. It just makes sense for his method of victory, right? If Witt's going to constantly close the distance, Rowe's got to make him walk into something. Just makes sense to me, guys. We both like the underdog. Take notes, kids.
Yeah, bro. When we both jump on a dog, I feel like the likelihood is pretty high, man. So I'm glad that we're in agreement on this fight a lot here, bro.
It's the fight he wanted, man. It makes a big difference when somebody is very confident, and you could tell that Witt is extremely confident in this matchup, so I like that for him. But let's be honest. They both have areas where they're significantly better than the other person. I don't like Witt at distance kickboxing. I don't. He has his hands open. He's very defensively minded, and he's been lit up before, so there has to be some doubt there when he's coming forward. Witt has to get his hands clasped together. Once he does, he's going to have success in this fight.
Most definitely, man. I am pumped for this card, and it's going to be good, especially with both of us hopping on the Witt train. Witt for the W. Both sides. We're picking the same thing here, man. This is interesting. Mike, say something. You got the finger up. You got something.
One more. You know who Gordon Ryan is?
Yes.
Okay, Gordon Ryan is the best no-gi grappler in world history, okay? Gordon Ryan grappled Rowe. Philly fresh Rowe jumped in there with Gordon Ryan. Now, Gordon Ryan submitted him in 45 seconds, but it's a fun match to watch because they did it just over. He would tap out, and then they would go right back at it. So it was fun to see Rowe's jiu-jitsu game. If you guys want to learn more about what Rowe's got on the ground, it's what he's going to need if he ends up there. I mean, if Witt's on top of him, we're thinking Witt's going to beat him up. If you guys want to see his game, check that out on YouTube. Gordon Ryan versus Philip Rowe. It's just fun, man. He gets to grapple the best grappler in the world. Do I get to just step on the gridiron and play with Tom Brady? Like, that's what Rowe got to do. He got to go compete against the best grappler in jiu-jitsu. So fun fight to check out.
Yeah, fun one. I saw that one. He got beat down, man. Overall, good matchup, bro. Good matchup. I'm ready to jump to the next one. But before we do, I have to advertise the poll. We got a big vote going on. The Full Send team is looking for an MMA content contributor. I want you guys to give your boy AJ the vote. I got the link in the description. Vote for me. I'll put it right there. We got it right in the description. Check it out. Make sure to vote, guys. Hook your boy up, man.
Love.
This is a huge potential opportunity, man. This is one of those things that come once in a lifetime type of thing, would you say?
What's the Eminem song? Got one moment. Capture it or let it slip. Yo, his palms are sweaty. No, I'm gonna stop right there.
Keep going. Mike on it. Back in the day, Mike actually wanted to be a rapper, but then he got into MMA.
Wanted to be, still am. I make any type of music, my brother. Any type of music. That's for another day. Guys, show some love to AJ. He wants to be on the mic. He wants to be on the camera. Let's get him a bigger and bigger platform. It's good for everybody. You want to see more of me and AJ? Click that link, send him a vote.
Yeah, listen, man, if I have the power, I'll say, listen, let me bring my guy Mike Finch with me, man. We'll take over the fucking Full Send fight game, baby. Let's go. Let's jump to the next one. Let's keep going. Let's keep running up this card. We have a good one. Jailton Almeida, who has a ton of hype and is coming in as a massive favorite. He is a huge favorite here. He fights Danilo Marques, who's come through as a dog a couple times, winning fights in the UFC. Both guys good grappling bases. Marques competes in jiu-jitsu, as does Almeida. Almeida is a huge favorite, and he's being kind of sold to us as this next level type of light heavyweight. Do you agree with that? What do you think about this fight, Mike?
I love the fight. I have seen Jailton Almeida a few times, and man, is he a great athlete. Is he, showing a lot of the signs you want to see from a future star. I'm looking in the comments here a little bit. Do you think Jailton Almeida can be a top 10 UFC light heavyweight? Absolutely. Do I think he could be? I think he could be a top 2 or 3. I mean, he has phenomenal potential, and that UFC light heavyweight division, let's be honest, it's not their deepest division, man. A couple wins, he's right there at the top. I've been very impressed with Jailton Almeida, man. He is a force to be reckoned with, and clearly, still relatively green in the UFC. He's got a lot of room to grow, so look out for him. And this is a tough fight for him. The thing I don't like about this fight, AJ, is the odds, because my man over here from King's MMA and a guy who's been training with Shogun Hua over there, a guy who's been training with Rafael Cordero and Kelvin Gastelum and Marvin Vettori and all those beasts, Marques is a problem. Marques, if he gets your back, he could wrap up that rear naked choke like a gift. It's over, and he's got much better striking than people are going to give him credit for in this fight. I think he's a live dog. I think he's dangerous. So I am second guessing betting on Almeida here. Never, you won't see me, guys, bet against King's MMA guys. There's 2 reasons for that. One, they have no quit, okay? You don't make Marvin Vettori quit. You don't make Kelvin Gastelum quit. These guys have major heart. And 2, if I go over to King's MMA after I pick against them and they see that I picked again, they're going to beat my ass, all right? So I'm on the hook. I have to pick Marques for this fight. Otherwise, I'm getting knocked out. What do you think, AJ?
Mike, you're a funny guy, bro. You're a funny guy.
Keeping it real.
I don't know the King's MMA guys personally. I got a lot of respect for him, and I really do respect Marques as a fighter. He's being disrespected by the bookies to an absolute maximum. Jailton Almeida is a good fighter. I agree, and I think he has potential. I don't know if I'm with you on the top 2, top 5 type situation, but I think he's good. His grappling is heavy. He's a very physically strong guy. I think he out-wrestles Marques. I think he controls him from top position, and I think he works towards winning this fight. the lines seem to think that it's going to be Almeida running through him in a round and a half or less. I personally disagree with that take. I think Almeida's in for a tough UFC debut. Marques has experience. He's got the jiu-jitsu, as we mentioned. I think decision win for Almeida on my side is where I'm going to go. But the betting is disgusting on this fight. We can't play this fight. I'm not even parlaying it because that's too wide, way too wide.
100%, especially for somebody making the UFC debut. He fought in the Contender, Dana White Contender Series, of course, so gives you a little bit of a, fighting in front of Dana White. You get that little the octagon jitters, right? That's what people call them. Get those out a little bit. He is a tall, lanky, explosive striker, very fast, good wrestler, man. His double leg takedown, the way he finishes that double leg takedown, the way he commits to it, penetrates through on the shot. It reminds me of a Khabib or a GSP, the way he drives through on his double leg shot. I'm impressed by Almeida, man. I've been very impressed. Do not count out Marques. He is a live dog. He's dangerous. I agree with AJ again. Stay the hell away from this fight.
Unless, I guess, if you're on the Marques side and betting. As I bring up the odds, Mike, we got a question for you live. You've heard of this quote, man? What's this quote here coming up in the live chat?
Oh my God, my Portuguese is terrible, guys. Obrigado for sending that. Thank you. But puta. Okay. I need to go put that in Google Translate real quick. AJ, help me out.
We might have to skip that.
Terms. I hear some terms in the gym, and I start picking them up. Isso. You start getting that stuff from listening to Cordero. But have I heard that one? Not off the top of my head. Thanks for asking.
They were curious, man, so I had to find out. Now, as far as the betting side, as I mentioned, there's no value. You're looking at minus 400 for Jailton at best. If you're on the opposite side, plus 340, Marques best value. That's not bad. He definitely has a shot in hell here. It is a fist fight. He trains with high-level guys. I like the decision, which blows my mind. The value of that for Jailton Almeida is plus 375. Maybe worth a stab. Not loving that bet. Of course, I could see an avenue for finish. It's just that Almeida is so unproven. And when you don't have a proven resume against top guys, how the hell are you a minus 400 favorite? That's crazy to me.
True, 100%. But again, it's the light heavyweight division. If it wasn't the light heavyweight division, maybe we would have a different conversation. But do I think Jailton Almeida can be at a point where he is competing and beating the likes of a Jan Blachowicz or a Glover Teixeira? I do. I think it's wide open. I think that light heavyweight division is wide open to be taken. You guys have heard me say, I work for Bellator, so I'll get the bias out there right away. But somebody, coming from Bellator, a Phil Davis, our champ Vadim Nemkov, I think they come through and they beat a lot of these guys. So in the light heavyweight division, both of these guys are going to make some noise.
I like to hear that, man. Very good take. Fun fight. Almeida for me, Marques for my man, Mike Finch. Let's jump. Let's keep on running. And also, guys, smash that like button if you're watching, if you enjoy the content. Make sure to subscribe to, turn those post notifications on, and share the video. Alexis Davis, Julija Stoliarenko. This is an interesting fight between these two ladies. I like the matchmaking here because you have a girl who's lost the last two for Stoliarenko, one loss for Davis in the last one. Getting a test. Alexis Davis has proven she fought for the belt. Tons of experience. Very good wrestling game. I will compare Alexis Davis to the kind of more OG women's style, a little bit stiff on the stand-up, but very physically strong and tough, is able to take big shots, puts a lot of forward pressure, solid low kicks as well that she's adapted, mixes in the wrestling fairly well. Stoliarenko, opposite side her, I think has some clear-cut advantages. Speed edge, technical Muay Thai edge. The youth is definitely in her favor. Footwork advantage. The difference is, can she stop the takedown? It's something that I would say is a big concern for me here, but I have a feeling Stoliarenko will have the tools to stop the takedown here. A lot of, I guess not going to say bias by the bookies, but strength in the bookie side towards Davis is a big favorite. I'm feeling the underdog. I don't know if I'm going crazy dog hunting, but I think Stoliarenko's stand-up game is a problem. I think she's going to go out there, make it a competitive fight, and I think she can squeak by with a win here by decision. I'm going Stoliarenko for the crazy upset here. Am I crazy for this one, Mike?
You're not crazy, but I think she's going to get taken down. I think Alexis, first off, Alexis Davis, OG, like very, very experienced, right? And if you look at Stoliarenko, what's her number one attack? What's her number one way she finishes people? Armbar. She's armbarred a lot of girls. Guys, Alexis Davis has never been armbarred even by Ronda Rousey. Ronda Rousey knocked Alexis Davis out. For those of you who remember, she didn't even armbar her. So, it's tough to say that that Stoliarenko is going to bust out that armbar in this one. So you start looking in the other areas, right? And competitive fight on the feet, competitive in the wrestling. But honestly, I'm not too concerned with her even being on her back, because even if she just threatens with that armbar, she'll be able to get to other places with it. Dude, why do we keep agreeing? This is crazy. We're both on the underdog. I gotta go Stoliarenko. I think that even if she's on her back, that was like AJ's fear here, I think she's in the superior position because her arm bars are that good. Alexis Davis is going to have to cross her T's, dot her I's, or she's getting her arm broken.
Wow, Mike, I'm in shock that we're agreeing on all these ones coming on. We don't, and guys,
good.
we don't
This
talk
ain't good.
before like this. We don't let each other know. I don't know Mike's picks until he tells me live.
Disagree.
Yeah, I know.
We disagree.
I like the little disagreements we have, man. Like we've done it before, and then it's a lot of fun to have a little debate. We're agreeing.
There's another dog we both like. I don't know, guys. Take a look at it.
I think it's worth looking at. Women's MMA, Mike has said in the past, he thinks women's MMA is where he makes the most money. So that's something to note. A lot of us talk about the risk of women's MMA. Mike is a believer in betting the ladies. He's made some cash on the women.
I mean, yes, people overestimate and underestimate women in a crazy way, the way people bet ridiculous amounts of money on Amanda Nunes and think she's like invincible. And, sometimes we get a little removed from reality. And so, I think women's MMA has been the spot to be betting on in the past 10 years here. It's the ones where the lines are the most off, in my opinion.
I think you have a very good point. Value side of betting, you're looking at upwards of plus 200 for Stoliarenko. Alexis Davis is a big favorite. Best value, you find around minus 215. Do you like any props in this fight, Mike? Or are you kind of thinking, let's just bet the dog straight money line? Because that's what I'm feeling.
Yeah, you know me. I'm all money line, man. I think Stoliarenko, her armbar is the best in the division. Like her armbar is legit. But if you look at Alexis Davis, is she going to fall victim to that? If Ronda did an armbar, I don't know if Stoliarenko will. This fight could go all three, especially because you guys are already getting good money if you're going to go and bet the underdog. Plus 200 is nice. So take that. I mean, this ain't financial advice, as we always say, right? You guys got to make the decisions. I'm just letting you know what I think.
I like it, Mike. I like it. I'm with you. I'm personally liking just money lining it, but I will have to note, I'll go with Stoliarenko potential prop. If you're like, hey, I think she's going to win a decision, plus 325 value, which is pretty nice plus money, but I'd rather stay on the safer side, not worry about method of victory, and just make my cash straight up. Stoliarenko for the win. Me and Mike are on an agreement roll. Let's see if maybe we break it in the next one. Next fight of the night. Let's pull it up. Good fight. Another great matchup. This card is low-key more stacked on the prelims than we saw with UFC 270, bro.
Sure. A lot of fun, close fights. Like a lot of fights where I have no freaking idea who's going to win. I like that.
Love it, bro. Marc-André Barriault versus Chidi Njokuani. I love it, man. I love it. Njokuani coming in, UFC debut. He's a Bellator guy, as I believe you know, Mike.
That's right.
Experience there. Knocked out Andre Fiallo in 21 seconds. Had some real hype. Unfortunately, lost to some of the top guys, in the Bellator middleweight division. Now coming over to the UFC as a more experienced guy, definitely has a nice stand-up game. Also brings with him a jiu-jitsu black belt. As he steps in to fight Marc-André Barriault, what is your biggest concerns for Njokuani here, or Barriault? I don't know your official side. I guess I'm kind of slightly leaning mine. And if you guys watched the videos earlier in the week, you know the side that I'm on here. I want you to give your take to the people first, Mike. Well, what do you want? Are you thinking Barriault, UFC vet, that experience, or do you think Chidi Njokuani might have the goods here?
Chidi Njokuani has the goods for sure, but Barriault is tough and in ridiculous shape. For those of you who saw the Abu Azaitar, am I saying that fight? That name right? Abu gassed out so hard, and Barriault just kept in the fight, man. He has got cardio and heart for days. So he's going to be a hard guy to put away. He's going to be on the case of Njokuani nonstop. And, that's going to be a real problem. Njokuani, though, fights a little bit further back. He likes to keep this nice cushion, this nice range, and he's got the speed and the technique with his kicks and his rangy strikes to be a problem. And then if it goes on the floor, he might have the advantage there too. Like you said, people always forget he is a jiu-jitsu black belt. So he's got great sweeps. You know, you'll see Njokuani on his back. All he needs is an underhook. All of a sudden he's on top. So very tough guy to deal with. I think Njokuani controls this fight. I like the matchup for him. One of the more confident ones on the card. I'm going to take Njokuani. I'll just stick to money line on this one, but he has the potential to get a finish. The reason why I'm not picking finish is because of the ridiculous cardio that he's going to be up against. When somebody has great recovery like that, it's really hard to put him away. He fights technical. He fights smart. He wins all 3 rounds in this fight.
I like that, Mike. I like your take on this matchup. And we once again will agree here, man. We're both seeing the same things early. I think Njokuani's stand-up game is going to be on display. I'm not too concerned about Barriault's ground game. I don't think he's bad with his wrestling. Surely has the potential to mix it in. But Njokuani with length edge, very good Muay Thai, nice front kicks, and he brings a skilled jiu-jitsu base, as you mentioned, from the back. He's going to be able to sweep, find ways up, may even find himself in top position, controlling Barriault on the ground. I think Barriault looked awesome against Dolce Lembagula, but Lembagula's 5 feet 8 inches tall. This is a serious differential of matchup. You have a giant Chidi Njokuani. I believe he stands 6 feet 3 inches tall, and he brings in the cage 80-inch reach. So he has a reach advantage of 7 inches, and he's a very good Thai style striker who's adapted it well for MMA. Sometimes, you know, just pure Muay Thai and MMA doesn't mesh beautifully. He's adapted it beautifully. The range management's going to be on point. I think that he's going to have even potentially better physical strength in clinch positions, top control, potentially even on the side of Njokuani. I think he wins a hard-fought decision, beats Barriault, but I will say I do like Barriault's skill set. He's improving, and he's showing that he's a good fighter, and this is a great test for Chidi and Njokuani here. Both of us on him.
No doubt. And, you know, I thought Abu Azaitar was actually the better fighter when he's fighting Barriault. But, dude, it's that cardio, man. Barriault's a problem with that cardio. He's definitely a guy who's going to be very, very much so on your case the whole fight. You're going to have to put him away. You're going to have to put him out. You know, if you just hurt him, he's going to come back. He's going to recover. He's going to stay in your face. I think an Njokuani decision, I'm pretty damn confident, too.
I like that. I like the sound of that. I'm with you. And he's an underdog. We're dog hunting, bro. He's sitting at plus 105, which I think's pretty nice value. If you're like, hey, I want to, if you want to prop it up, which of course I personally like the money line dog play better because Njokuani has finishing abilities, but Barriault not an easy guy to put away. Njokuani by decision plus 255. It's a valuable note worth touching on for this matchup. Good fight. And we are on a roll of agreement here, Mike. Let's see. Maybe the next one spices things up. We'll find out. For the people watching, make sure to smash the like button. Show me and Mike some love. If you're new, subscribe.
Thank you, guys.
Turn the post notifications on. And share too. Don't forget to share that. That can help us out a ton. You know somebody that might enjoy. That's the best way. Share too. If you know somebody, hey, maybe my friend likes it, maybe my friend's friend likes it, and everybody shares it. Next thing you know, we're on the moon by the next episode. So much love. Let's jump to the next one, which I feel like we may have some disagreement on. Hakeem Dawodu versus Mike Trizano, Ultimate Fighter winner, Mike Trizano, who I actually am pretty high on. I think that he's a pretty solid developing guy. Won against Ludovic Klein in the last one, which was a pretty serious performance, I would say, because Klein was coming in as maybe this next stand-up prospect that's going to take over the fight game. Very solid gas tank with Trizano, a patient pressure style of attack. Interesting note, though, both guys 30 years of age, so there's really no youth edge I can say on either side here. I like the jab of Trizano, too. On the side of Dawodu, extremely explosive guy. Definitely has knockout power, dangerous with his hooks, and if he can land, can do some serious damage. What I don't like sometimes with Dawodu is a bit of hesitancy. You go back and you watch the Tahugov fight, even though at the end he's pushing the pace, he's yelling, let's go, what are we doing? For the majority of the fight, I feel like he wasn't willing to really engage either up until those final moments in the third round. I'll be honest, I think activity rate of Mike Trizano is a problem. I think he's got the grappling tools to stay on his feet. I don't see Dawodu being able to knock out Mike Trizano. I like Mike Trizano upset wins by decision. Am I crazy? What do you think, Mike?
We disagree. Yes. Yes. Good. Okay. This is what I'm seeing. You guys remember when Figueiredo just fought for the title and won that title? What they saw was the lead leg of Moreno was actually turned in like a boxer like this, right? Because boxers, they want to stand with their hips just a little bit at an angle, right? If you look at the way Trizano stands, not that he's sideways like that, but he's lead leg heavy. You just notice that. Just notice how he's constantly putting a lot of pressure on his lead leg. Well, Dawodu likes throwing kicks. Dawodu loves kicks. He throws unset up kicks constantly. And, back when I would train, with specifically Asif Oscar in this instance, I learned really quickly, like, you throw unset up kicks, they're going to catch him, take you down, they're going to punch you in the face. There's a problem. So Dawodu does have a problem in doing that. However, Trizano, that could be like a little hole for him to go through. So it kind of matches up pretty well. So the way I see the striking going down in this fight, I see Dawodu finding that lead leg and moving, finding that lead leg and moving. And if that's the case, and Trizano has to rely on his grappling, getting on top, getting to dominant positions. Look, he's had split decisions. They both have. Let's be honest. They both have gone to split decisions in the past few fights here. But if this is a close one and Trizano has to get it done with his grappling, I don't like him being in that spot. I certainly wouldn't be betting on Trizano. With that being said, super close fight. I think this one comes down to the wire. I'm going to say the leg kicks make the difference. And if Dawodu comes through with a good game plan, he should be able to pitch a pretty perfect game in this one.
I like that, man. I respect the pick, and I do understand your side on the matchup. It's very close. Odds definitely favorable towards the Trizano side, but this is the biggest test of his career. And Dawodu wants to come back from disappointing defeat. I mean, you look, he lost to Movsar Evloev and controlled on the ground through a majority of that. Before that fight, he's coming in as a potential, contender in the next year or so in that featherweight division. I feel like Trizano and him is going to be a competitive fight. Even though I'm on the Trizano side, I definitely can see it's not like the lines are insane. This is totally wrong. There's no way, Trizano loses. I could see potential for him losing the fight, even though I will be picking him here. Great matchmaking, fun fight. Maybe I have some bias towards Trizano too, because I like that stance. I like that lead foot heavy stance of his, that boxer in me. You know what I'm saying?
That's the boxing,
the
bro. You like that.
Yeah.
You like the crispy hands. That's what you like, bro.
I do, bro. I do. Now let's look at the betting side for this fight. Dawodu about a -160 favorite. Trizano upwards of +165. I personally don't love the prop side of things here. If you were to maybe touch a prop, you're like, hey, I want Trizano wins by decision +305. Your method of victory for Dawodu, Mike, what do you like?
I think this is going to be, these guys like to go to split decision. I think they're going to do it again, dude. I think it's going to be another decision. I think it's going to be close. And I think the difference will be the striking of Dawodu. I think, Trizano is going to just be half step behind. If he can implement his grappling, it's going to be a good fight. If he can't, Dawodu.
Okay. I like that. Dawodu wins by decision +125. Yeah. Fight goes the distance -195. So if you're unsure of the side and you're set on betting this fight, maybe you're on that goes distance, because both guys definitely have gone distance. Tough guys, durable, fun matchup. Could be a close one. I'm expecting a close one. I'll go Trizano. Mike will go against me for the first time tonight on Hakeem Dawodu. I like it, Mike. I'm glad to see some disagreement. We can't keep agreeing on everything.
No, we can't. And I'm looking at the comments now. Igor Ramos, when Chidi Bang Bang was at Bellator, were you working at Bellator, Mike? No, I am young with Bellator. I've been working for Bellator for less than a year, man. So I have seen his fights, though. And I used to go do media at Bellator events, so I've seen these guys fight a lot. I remember interviewing Sean McCorkle back in like 2012, So I'm talking about like Bjorn Rebney Bellator. We're talking way back. So I've been a fan for a long time. Working for Bellator, short amount of time. I will be at Neiman Gracie fight in a couple weeks here, though. We'll be out there at the Mohegan Sun in Connecticut. That's going to be fun.
Yeah, that should be an awesome time, man. I'm looking forward to that for you, bro. Big sexy Sean McCorkle too, man. He Kimura Mark Hunt, and Mark Hunt's UFC debut after the Pride.
I was there. I was there. Do you know where that was? That was Indianapolis. I was there, my friend, up in the nosebleeds. Those were back when UFC tickets were like kind of cheap, I could just get them, I was working at Culver's, if you guys know what that is, fast food place. So saved up, boom, trip to go to Indianapolis to go watch some fist fights. Yes. The main event was Crow Cop and Mirko Crow Cop, one of the worst fights I've ever seen.
Crow Cop and Frank Mir, you mean?
What did I just say?
You said Crow Cop and Crow Cop.
been a long day, guys. Yes, Crow Cop and Frank Mir. Jesus. Frank Mir, the former UFC champion, the submission artist himself, was definitely flat-footed and had a shitty fight up until the knockout. So that was an old school fight right there, man. I like that you knew the Sean McCorkle reference.
Yeah, but that's classic, bro. You know, I'm an OG, bro. You know I'm an OG. Let's keep running. We got exciting action coming up next. Miles Johns, John Castañeda. Very fun fight here between two skilled guys. On the Miles John side, just one loss as a professional, which I take that as a super valuable asset. And he fights John Castañeda, combate veteran, so he has been fighting tough competition. Michael, I want you to start this one off. What do you feel here? Do you think the underdog Castañeda maybe can surprise us?
Yes, I do. Look, Castañeda from Combate Global, they just released a bunch of his fights. Not just, it was maybe a month ago. They released a bunch of his fights, and you could go back and sort of just look at his career. Man, more technical than I gave him credit for. You know, looking back at a lot of his stuff, he likes to throw a lot of kicks, but he stays in a real good spot where he's not eating bombs. And if you look at Johns, the way Johns likes to throw, he needs to freaking crank that right hand out there. And a lot of times he misses it, you know? So if he doesn't put that bomb on Castañeda, I think Castañeda controls this fight, you know? I think he's just, you know, and Johns, you know, let's give him respect. He's definitely technical too. He's definitely hard to get to, keeps his chin tucked, you know, definitely disciplined. But Castañeda, I think, will control him a little bit, maybe keep the output a little bit higher. So it's going to be up to Johns. If you're betting on Johns, I think you're betting on boom. I think you're betting on the dynamite. Yes. If you're going to bet on Castañeda, you know, I think he might be one step ahead in this fight, man. I like him in this one, despite not having the nuclear option. I'll go Castañeda in a decision.
Oh, I like that, Mike. I like your side on this one. I'll be honest, a little bit surprising because I am a Miles Johns guy. I've been impressed by him. I believe his wrestling here is something to note. I don't feel he'll be too threatened by the takedowns of Castañeda. What separates these two, though, the most, I believe, is explosiveness. You look at the power that Miles Johns brings. It's serious. He hits with some bad intentions, very explosive punches, massive hooks. You look at the knockouts in the past, too. They've been impressive. I feel like the explosiveness is serious here, but he has to respect the chin of Castañeda. If Johns is able to be patient, still using those explosive attacks at the right moments, he goes out here and slowly puts away Castañeda. I feel like he'll find the finish if he attacks the body. The big difference maker is attacking the body. The last one was the Anderson Dos Santos fight. I loved how he ripped to the body and then came up high. If he can work Castañeda down with body work, if he can keep it a little bit maybe at a slower pace and ease his way through, I think he finds a way to the chin. I'm going to go Miles Johns to knock out John Castañeda, and I'm thinking second round. I feel like that's what's going to happen here, Mike.
That could totally happen. He's got a lot of power, dude. He is explosive. You know, I just find that he winds up a little bit. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? When he throws the right hand, it's not clean. It doesn't come straight out. He doesn't look like Connor. Bop! When he just puts it straight on somebody. It's got a little bit of a loop to it. And that little bit of a tell might be all Castañeda needs to slide in and out and try to make this thing a sparring match. You know, the more like sparring it feels like, the more Castañeda is going to be winning here. The more of a fist fight they get into, the more Johns wins. If Castañeda was more reckless, Johns, but he's not. So it's a tough one for me.
I like that, Mike. I like that we disagree. We have two disagreements in a row, so that's good. We got some things moving in the right direction here. Now, as far as the lines for this one, Castañeda plus 200 underdog, Johns minus 175 favorite. If you're on the Johns by KO side, I think you can find some nice upside on that knockout prop bet here, which I'm attempting to load in, but I'm not seeing it. Do you have fight odds ready for you here? Here we go. No, actually, I got it, man. Right now, Johns by KO sitting at plus 350 for a guy with the power that he has. That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's
probably
very interesting.
It's probably his most likely method of victory. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I think that if he wins this fight, which, as you know, I'm predicting he will, I see it by KO. I see him finding the chin. I see him hurting John Castañeda impressively. I'm on Johns by KO. I like that plus money. Would you play a Castañeda side by decision, or you like, let me just money line it? Let's chill. You like him by decision. You see that method.
Yeah, but you know me, I'm always going money line, man. I hate, taking my odds down. I'd rather take less cash and be right more often. Yeah, I think that his most likely method to victory for sure is just staying on the outside and kickboxing. It's even more likely that his method of victory is decision than it is John's by KO. Like, that is what he needs to do in this fight. He needs to be technical. He needs to kick those legs. He needs to be in and out. Just stay a little too far away for Johns to land that bomb and just have a higher output. I think that's like a clear pathway to victory for him. If I was his coach, that's what I'd be saying anyway.
Yeah, I like it, bro. I like your take. I will give you the odds for a decision for Castañeda since you seem to be there, sitting at
Please.
plus 350. So looking at the same for the knockout side of
Nice.
Miles Johns. Good one.
Nice.
That's a good fight, man.
I like
Overall,
it.
man, this is a pretty solid set of prelims. I feel like we have a
Yeah.
stacked prelim card heading into a really good main card. I mean, obviously, it's not pay-per-view level main card, but this is a damn good card. It's one that I can't wait for, man. Like, I'm going to be honest, I'm impressed by the matches on this card, especially after the week off. We got Bellator, we had Eagle, but now we have the Premier League, and that's no disrespect to your people over at Bellator, but the UFC, baby.
Hey, compare the last Bellator card, Bader and Moldavsky, Benson, Henderson. I mean, we had a badass Bellator card to look forward to. And then, of course, you got some big fights we're announcing now. You guys saw what we got planned in Paris, London. Guys, we're bringing the heat, okay? But listen, as an MMA fan, you're just nonstop winning. You're winning if Eagle puts on a good show. You're winning if Bellator puts on a good show. You're going to be winning on Saturday night when the craziest mother effer I have ever heard speak. Okay, Sean Strickland gets in a fist fight with Hermansson. That's going to be phenomenal. We are all blessed. We're all winning together.
All winning together, man. I'm looking forward to it. Should be great action. It's time to jump to the main card. The main card here for UFC Vegas 47. I'm very excited. It is going to be a fun one. It starts off Julian Juicy J. Erosa versus Steven Peterson, both veterans of the game. Erosa having some recent successes outside of a really bad, quick knockout loss to Sung Woo Choi. He's an upset king. Erosa's known for, coming through and beating guys that he's really not expected to beat, guys that are, real momentum heavy. And then Erosa finds a way to beat him. I mean, just recently beat Charles Jourdain, who's a difficult prospect to deal with in that featherweight division, was supposed to fight Topuria. Unfortunately, we lost that fight on the 270 card. Also with Erosa, you have a rangy style, a little bit awkward. He has his own flow to the MMA game. With Peterson, a more traditionalist kickboxing style. Will slowly find a way inside, will unload hooks, does have a bit of power in his hands. Erosa, some people have said to me they feel like he's chinny. I'm not going to go that far. I'm not going to say he's an iron chin either. I mean, Artem Lobov years ago on Tough did knock him out. So I guess that's something to potentially be worried about. I just don't think Peterson is going to find a way to the chin here. I think Erosa works well from range for the 3 rounds. I will say the lines are very wrong on this matchup, but I'm on the Erosa side to start this main card off, man. Are you with me on Erosa or are you against me here?
I am with you, my brother. Look, he's better on the ground. To my knowledge, Peterson's never been submitted, but Erosa has a nasty Darce choke, anaconda choke. The dude is going to strangle you if it gets down to the mat. And yeah, on the feet, he's a funky puzzle too. If Peterson's going to win, he should try to put a big shot on him. And that's what he's probably going to need. I like Erosa in this fight. I think Erosa is more well-rounded, and especially the biggest difference here is his ability to get a strangle. If Peterson puts some punches together, it's possible that he wins this fight. He does have the knockout option. Of course, he showed against Martin Bravo with a spinning back fist. And, he's got power. So he needs to keep this on the feet, keep it at distance, and that'll keep him in this fight. But as soon as it hits the mat, I like Erosa by submission, man. I think Erosa will be the first one to submit Steven Peterson.
Wow, I like that take, Mike. I respect that take. I want to agree with you, but I do have a feeling we could be going distance here with Erosa leading the dance throughout. I feel like it's almost like Erosa performs better when he's a little bit outmatched, in this matchup. I think that he's fighting a guy who he, on paper, I think is better than. When the cage door closes, I think he'll show he's better, but it might be a little closer than comfortable. I'm on the Erosa side, but I'm personally passing on the betting. We had somebody say here, Crusader says it should be minus 200. I'm going to agree. If it was around that minus 200 range for Erosa, it's a lot more attractive for me to go, hey, I want to bet this fight. I want to throw down. I want to get some cash on him. I'm not betting the Juicy J side. I'll save my bets on him for when he's an underdog as a favorite pass, but I do have him winning the bout. I'm with you here. Steven Peterson shouldn't win. If he finds a way to win, that would be a pretty major upset.
Yeah, I am not impressed by your performance. I'm just not sure that Peterson is ready to jump to the higher echelon here. I think Erosa keeps him down there. Erosa is nasty, and the later this fight goes, the more scrambles they have, the more opportunity he has to find that neck. I think he'll find it.
Yeah, I'm liking it, bro. I'm glad that you have that take. I guess I'll have to bring up the props, the submission props specifically, because that's the one you're on. And I'd say there's some decent value on that. It's actually plus 525. I guess it's, for the respect of Peterson's submission defense. Erosa could find a way, especially the term that I've been using a lot lately, club and sub. He stuns you and he finds a way to choke you out.
I like that.
Yeah,
Club and sub. Damn, we need to open a bar, bro. Club and sub.
Club and
Come
sub.
through for club and sub, dude. I like that.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid term, man. What it really
crispy.
Just says, it's crispy, bro. It flows. It's knockdown and then choke him out. I think inside Erosa's a little bit awkward too with the hooks that he throws. He's got a cool style, bro. I like the Erosa flair. I'm on the Erosa side. You're on the Erosa side. I'm glad that we can agree, but we both can agree the betting side is ugly on this one.
It is.
Minus 295 is the best you'll find it, but more likely you're finding it in that minus 300 range.
Yeah, if I'm gonna bet on this one, it would definitely be Erosa submission, especially after you read me those odds. These odds are all wacky on this one, man. No, I think this is a competitive fight, but Erosa's most likely chance to win this thing is just to slap on a choke, brother. So yeah, I would go Erosa submission if you're feeling frisky.
Yeah, I like it. Plus 525. That would be the play if I'm throwing one down, especially more of a Hail Mary. But I like those Hail Marys sometimes. You definitely can come through big if you play the Hail Marys once in a while, man. You gotta go for the home run hitter type situation. We have a very fun fight that I'm pulling up next to get us going. And it is essentially the tough finale. Original matchup, right? Between Tresean Gore and Bryan Battle. Battle, though, did go on to win and become the Ultimate Fighter, beating Gilbert Urbina. Both of these men beat Urbina, both finished Urbina. Gore definitely took a lot less damage, wasn't in a ton of trouble in that fight, but styles make the fights here. Mike, Battle is the winner of the Ultimate Fighter. He now fights a contestant, supposed to be finalist, Tresean Gore, and Battle's the underdog. What side are you on in this spot?
I like Gore in this fight, man. I think Bryan Battle does that very well. He battles, man. He's got a lot of heart, but he's in these close fights where it's back and forth and you can see the vulnerabilities. And, Gore is not the type of guy to get stupid and reckless. He's a guy who likes to kind of like fight with his hands open so he can kind of catch your shots, and he uses his exit really well. He'll back up. I call it a float, so you push off your lead foot to be able just to slide out of danger. Gore does that real well, so I'm not too concerned about the striking with him. And the takedowns on the open mat, he does fine. I think he's going to be able to find those against Battle. It's going to be up to Battle's submission game and how he does off of his back. I think the ugly ground and pound moments and in the exchanges and in the strikes, that's where Battle has an opportunity to do something. But other than that, I think Gore controls this fight, man. I think it's a good matchup for Tresean Gore.
Yeah, I actually am going to totally agree with that sentiment here. I think the striking is special. Tresean has a real power. And, I think power punchers are born, not necessarily made. Of course, you can hit harder the more you learn. Definitely a difference maker here is going to be the power of Gore. If he touches Battle's chin, I could see him hurting him. I can see him finishing him. Now, something I have to respect about Bryan Battle is he's overcome adversity. In that finale fight, he was hurt badly early. But to me, I see openings. I see that as a potential red flag that early there's opportunities for Gore, a guy that hits as hard as he does. You don't want to get hit with that same punch. Urbina is not near that level of power that Gore brings. I think Tresean Gore's stand-up will be on display. The question mark surrounds his wrestling. I feel like even though he fought lesser competition, Ryder Newman was the guy that he fought and beat before the Urbina fight on Tough. That man was a wrestler known for the wrestling game. Tresean Gore was able to easily outmatch him on the feet, and even, had a hard time attempting takedowns on Tresean. I don't think it'll be easy for Battle to take down Gore, let alone even shoot for attacks. His best method to get Gore down, I'm expecting, is going to be pressing inside, eat one to land one, but really eat one to clinch up. He needs to get Gore against the cage, make this a dirty fight, make it in the clinch. I want to see dirty shots, elbows, knees, shots that could potentially throw the game of Gore. From range, I got Tresean all day. I think he also has a serious speed advantage, which I really feel like is going to be on display in this spot. I'm on the Tresean side by KO too. I think he's going to sleep Bryan Battle. I think he's knocking him out in the second round. What do you think? Method of victory?
That's a tough one. Look, Bryan Battle's got a set of balls on him, dude. The guy is tough, man. He's going to be tough to put away. I think if you break his nose, get it looking like Mike Perry's plastered on the side of his face, he's still going to be in that fight, man. It's going to be hard to put Battle away. So I think Gore beats him in a decision. I think he's going to outstrike him, like you just said. And, I am confident that he can take Battle down if he wants to. I think Battle, actually, you pretty much echoed it pretty well. I think the moments that he's in his best spot are those transitions and the spots where he could freaking elbow Gore in the side of the head and throw, it's in the exchanges, it's in the scrambles. That's where Battle can slap on a choke. That's where Battle has some opportunity in this fight. Gore is the stronger athlete. He's more technical. I think he's going to control from a distance. I just like him by decision in this fight, man. I'm going to say it goes all three.
I like that. Hey, I respect your take. I'll be honest. I am a big fan of both guys, so to see either one lose sucks. When I originally saw this as the finale, and then when Gore got hurt, I said, okay, at least I don't have to see Bryan Battle or Tresean lose, because especially when you follow The Ultimate Fighter, I know some people really trash the show. I've always been a fan. You can really build some connections to guys, and you really can find some of your favorite guys to watch. I'm a fan of Tresean. I'm a fan of Bryan Battle. I'm like a lifelong. I plan on following these guys, even if, you know what? I'm not even going to wish that upon them anything outside the UFC. They're going to be in the UFC a long time, both of them. Hot prospects on the rise. One has to lose. Unfortunately, I think it's Bryan Battle, but I still think the future is bright for Bryan, regardless of the outcome here. I just think Tresean gets it done when these two face off inside of the cage.
Yeah, pretty confident about that one too, man. I think Gore's got it.
Yeah, and the odds for it are not atrocious, but favorable towards Tresean. They're sitting at about -140 for Gore, Battle +135. As I said, I do like the potential for knockout, though the gritty toughness is there for Battle. Looking at Gore to win by KO, it's +200, but I also want to bring the opposite side of Battle wins by submission, +500. People have talked about potential for that, so might as well note it. And you said you like Gore by decision, +325 value. Personally, I would play the money line side if I was looking to play, but I almost feel like, as a big fan of both guys, both new in the UFC career, I'm going to chill on the bet on this one and just enjoy the action, because betting against either one of the guys, you can't bet against, two guys that you're big fans of that are prospects. I'm not going to do that. I can't do it. I can't. My heart can't let me on this one.
Got to bet with your brain, not your heart, AJ. Don't be soft, bro. Come on, man. Sometimes that's the best. Sometimes the fighter you like the best, Right. But yes, absolutely. You cannot. I'm about to drop some Star Wars quotes. Don't let that cloud your judgment, bro. Stay focused, AJ. Talking about money leaving pockets here, bro.
I like it. You're right. I might have to, but that was some true Jedi shit, bro. That was good advice, Mike.
I don't think I did any good quotes. Sorry if I hyped that up. Yes, I think that Gore's got this one, but be careful. I mean, the Battle is like mentally one of the toughest guys. Mentally he will find his way through battle, through war. So definitely not the type of guy to bet the house against.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to agree with you on that sentiment. Guys, let's jump to the next fight. It's a short notice bout. It's Sam Alvey now versus Brendan Allen. Brendan Allen just got knocked out by Chris Curtis recently, very recently, about 2 months ago. And now he's stepping in to fight at 205 against Sam Alvey. That's crazy.
A power
right?
puncher?
A power puncher who needs a win for his UFC career to stay alive. Older guy. But let's be honest. Sam Alvey is not the same fighter at 185 as he is at 205. He's a much more difficult test. You give me this fight at 185, I'm like, okay, I can see the method of victory for Allen. But at 205, not having the weight cut, preparing for a bout, it's not a serious transition between Hawes and Allen. I actually think Allen is a better stylistic matchup potentially for Sam Alvey, with, I guess, the one difference being durability of Allen, even though he's been knocked out, is not something I question. I still think he takes a shot. Phil Hawes, people question the durability. Personally, I think he's been hit by big shots, and unfortunately, you get knocked out in the fight game. It's MMA. It's 4-ounce gloves. It is what it is. You're taking a fight, this being Brendan Allen, on very short notice. I was looking through his Instagram, and I'm not seeing any signs of like he's, preparing for a fight in the very near future. He's just living a normal life. Of course, he's training. He's training all the time. Of course, he's in decent shape. But now you're fighting at 205, something you haven't done. When he fought at 195, Sean Strickland was able to stop him. Sam Alvey's in need of a win. Am I crazy for going on the Sam Alvey by knockout side here? Am I a tinfoil hat type of person if I'm doing that? He's a plus 300 underdog. That's crazy, especially when he's preparing for a matchup against Allen on short notice. And it's at 205.
Are we both about to pick Sam Alvey by knockout right now? Is that what you're telling me right now? Are we both about to pick Sam Alvey by knockout? Okay. Brendan Allen should dominate this fight. Okay. Brendan Allen should come out there, control this fight at range, be able to stay out of that boxing game with Sam Alvey. Just do everything but exchange punches with Sam Alvey, and you'll win. And you'll win. And he should be able to get a hold of him and get on top and really hurt him from the top position. Allen is the type of guy who has massive potential, right? But we saw in his last fight him get suckered into exchanging. And when I saw him get suckered into exchanging like that, when he got hurt, when he came and ran back forward, throwing wide looping punches against a striker, I thought, oh my God, he does not have a good fight IQ. Like, I can never bet on this guy. Here I am thinking this is the next contender. This is a tough kid. But it doesn't matter if you just throw yourself into the fire. Then you can just flip a coin who's going to win. You're going to throw freaking bolos. You're just going to throw the craziest shots you could come up with when you get hurt. Bad idea. Bad idea. And he, like you said, just was severely concussed 2 months ago. And you're going to jump in and do this short notice fight with Alvey. I think all the cards are lining up for Sam Alvey. I mean, look at the odds. Crazy, crazy wide, right? The KO power Alvey brings in here. The type of guy, the type of person who's going to fit right into that like a puzzle piece is somebody who's throwing wide looping punches like Allen was just doing in his last fight. So if Allen fights a smart fight, he wins. He wins this fight. Based on what I've seen, I can't predict that. I can't predict this kid's going to fight smart after the shit he just pulled on me last time. So Alvey by KTFO.
I love it, bro. And it's crazy that we're considered wild men for this take. Like, people have said, you're crazy. I'm never listening to you again. You're picking Sam Alvey. Well, Mike Finch also picking Sam. And we can also know Mike Finch, MMA fighter, has experience, has fought in the cage. So I'm not that crazy for picking it. I'm glad that we agree on this one, man. It makes me look, I guess, a little less like a tinfoil hatter. But a lot of people will say they think Allen should run through him. If you're talking about full camp, if you're talking about 185, okay, this is a different fight. It's 205. It's Sam Alvey preparing for warfare for an extended period of time versus Allen recently being put to sleep. Is he going to the gym to spar the week after getting knocked out? No, I would suggest he'd take probably at least 3 weeks off, 4 weeks off. So has he been back in the gym a month? Maybe a month, maybe not. He's looking at Sam Alvey as an easy fight, and he's thinking he's going to cash and beat up an old dude. The old man is going to get the W here. I'm going for old man strength, knockout.
AJ, what's the last attribute that leaves a fighter?
Power.
It's power. They keep their power. So speed is going to go. Timing's going to go. But if Allen plants his damn feet and throws those wide ass hooks, Alvey he made a whole career out of going inside of your big wide shots. You know, Allen's tall, long, lanky guy throwing real wide like that. Alvey is excellent. That is literally his forte, coming inside of those wide ass shots. I see it's getting lit up in the comments right now. If you want to put a couple of these up, no way Alvey wins. If he does, I'll kiss all y'all's asses. All right, bro. I'll be here for you to kiss this ass afterwards. Look, I'm not saying bet your house on it, okay? All I'm saying is, for those of you thinking betting on Allen, I would just consider the question, is this kid going to make the same mistake he just made? Did he learn from that fight? Is this the guy who's learned from the mistakes, or is this the same type of fighter we're going to see repeat performance? I see no data. I see no evidence to suggest that he is going to be a different fighter. This was just 2 months ago. He didn't have a full training camp for this. The emotions get riled up when you're in there with somebody who you think you're better than, and they hurt you, and I think it's all set up for him to make a stupid mistake again. And those are the variables that I'm seeing, and why I'm taking the old guy who's supposed to lose.
I'm with you, bro. I'm glad that we're on the same page here. He's a big underdog, bro. The value is all on the Alvey side. If you're feeling crazy enough to say, hey, I want to play Alvey, sitting at around the plus 300 range, you can actually find him upwards of plus 335. So he's a big dog. As far as win here, we're both predicting Alvey KO. We'll go plus 650 for the knockout prop bet. That's a major potential play, man. That's money. When you get knocked out, I want you to take off time. I don't want to see a guy back after getting knocked out like that. And you know what? If he would have been out for 3 months and then takes a fight, and has a full training camp, different story. What is he? He hasn't had a training camp, and he's fighting a guy getting ready for war. No, Sam Alvey. We're on the Sam Alvey side, and I'm glad that we both are.
Yeah, the fact that Allen is taking a fight 2 months after being viciously knocked out, and it's against a power puncher, that is another indication to me that this guy has a low fight IQ. This guy is not taking this seriously, and I'm sorry to be so tough on Allen. The reason why I am is because of his potential. He has potential to be excellent. He has potential to be top 5 in the world. Based on what I've seen in his last fight and him taking this one, I'm not liking the decision making.
Yeah, bad decision-making can really stifle careers, man, and turn it in the wrong direction. We're both going on the Alvey side. Upset over Brendan Allen.
We're crazy.
We're crazy.
We know we're crazy.
We're
Just
crazy.
So you guys know.
Well, if you like the crazy, make sure to smash the like button. Show some love. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. As I always say, share the video with somebody that might like it and turn on those post notifications too. And I got to quickly just plug myself. We have a big opportunity for the MMA Experts brand for me, and I mean Mike as well, because if we get on this Full Send collab, Full Send is looking for guys to bring on to do an MMA podcast. They want to bring someone in. I made it to the top 20. The least you can do is give me a vote. If you like my content, give me a vote. Link is in the description. You also see it as the pinned comment in the live chat. Vote for me. It takes a second. You don't even have to leave the video. You click it, you vote MMA Experts, and show some love. Let's get your boy in the fight. Let's get me in the running at least here to potentially pull this one off. Would be huge. So definitely show some love. We have to jump to the next fight of the night. It is an amazing one. Shavkat Rakhmonov versus Carlston Harris. A lot of people have said they think the line should be closer here. Carlston Harris, dangerous guy, fought in Brave. Yeah. He is a dangerous guy. He has serious skills. I feel like he has some sneaky knockout power, the jiu-jitsu game, grappling in general, what he's known for, but he takes on a very dangerous Kazakhstani fighter. Dangerous fighter from Kazakhstan. I saw Rakhmonov when he fought against Oliveira. He took that fight. I believe it was on short notice. Don't quote me on it, though. He was sitting around minus 110, and I wish I would have hammered the shit out of the line because I knew he was going to beat Oliveira, and I knew he was going to beat him inside the distance. He submitted him in the first round. I feel like Shavkat Rakhmonov has a special style. He's patient, he's technical, he's rangy, and he also has a nasty submission game. But in this spot, he fights a guy that's going to test him. This is not an over-the-hill guy. I guess I don't want to call Oliveira over the hill, but I guess is it fair for me to say potentially over the hill for Alex Oliveira? Maybe. Michael Prezairs also, like older guys that are tough Brazilians. He submitted both, though, and submitting Brazilians is a pretty savage thing to do. I think Shavkat Rakhmonov keeps this fight more so on the feet. One thing about Harris that I'll note, I think his punches have a little too much fat on them. He gets a little bit wide with his shots. It's going to work against guys that are less technical, against guys that don't throw straight punches. You look at Shavkat, he works a nice jab. He follows with a beautiful cross. I really like the boxing game. Also, something else to note, Shavkat an inch taller, an inch longer in the reach department. I don't see Harris blast double-legging him, taking him to the floor, laying and praying. I don't see Carlston Harris submitting Shavkat. He would have to land the death punch or he'd have to grind a decision. I don't see that. Shavkat's too dangerous. I'm going Shavkat Rakhmonov win. And I'm also going to lean towards the KO side. The betting side of things, I'd say inside distance to be, on the safer side, unless you're really trying to make that dinero. But I wouldn't be shocked if we see a club and sub situation. Shavkat hurts him on the feet and then finds a submission. Mike, what side do you want? I know a lot of people are high in the underdog. Are you as well?
I like Shavkat Rakhmonov in this fight, man. Look, he's definitely a problem. He's smart, man. He's got a good, well-rounded game. He's dangerous. I think the biggest advantage he has in this fight is probably on the feet. He's super well-rounded, but if he can hurt him and get to like a top position, his ground and pound is nasty. Rakhmonov's game is nasty on the ground when he's in the top position, dropping elbows and putting MMA together on people. He's a finisher too, so he could put you away. I will say this. I want to see his cardio get tested. That could be one of the things we see in this fight. I want to see, Rakhmonov really get pushed. And, Harris might be the guy to do it. He has great body lock takedowns. Really, really good when he gets on top. His choke game is awesome. He had a nasty anaconda choke I was just watching that, you can wrap that up on anybody, man. And you could see the confidence Harris has when he wraps up that anaconda choke. He just falls on his side and he'll choke you unconscious, no problem. So, if Rakhmonov gets hurt and has to shoot in, or if he gets tired, you could see Harris start controlling this fight. I don't want to see Rakhmonov on his back here. I don't want to see Rakhmonov, shooting in on double legs. He will be vulnerable in those spots. The thing is, I don't think he has to. I think he's going to stand up, stay on the outside, use his striking, just use his fight IQ, man. Here's a guy who's been showing he has a good fight IQ. He's patient, he's smart, and he's a finisher. You got to believe the hype, man. I like Rakhmonov here. I think he has the potential to get a TKO in this fight. I'm not sure if it'll be a decision or a TKO, but he's definitely a favorite for a reason here. I think the odds do make sense.
Yeah, I agree, man. I think that he is the favorite. If I was to be on the side of the odds makers, I'd have it closer a little bit, at least minus 175. Okay. But I like Rakhmonov. I'm confident in him. Minus 220 favorite at best value, plus 205 dog, Carlston Harris. So the line has dropped a bit. There is some love for Carlston Harris as an underdog. Rakhmonov inside distance, plus 110. If you like the knockout side, plus 225. Submission, plus 375. It gets crazy when you're looking to prop things up. I guess go with the one that your heart tells you. I guess your brain tells you, as Mike would say. He doesn't want any heartfelt picks. And you're right. Go with the brain here. Go with what the books tell you. Rakhmonov's a good submission game. Harris, good submission defense. I do think Rakhmonov could find the finish inside the distance. Would be a safer prop bet. I like Moneyline more than anything. If I'm looking to bet this one, I'm high on Rakhmonov, as are you, Mike, which I'm glad to hear because I was very interested to find out if you're feeling the same as I am.
Yeah, Rakhmonov's just got a complete game. I like that comment you put up there. He doesn't have a great schedule yet, and it's now's the time. He's undefeated, so now's the time, and he's going to slowly start working his way up. I think Harris is the right test for him at this point. I think he's going to pass it, guys. This Rakhmonov guy's a problem, brother. You said Kazakhstan, right?
Kazakhstan, greatest country in the world.
Like Borat. Right? Kazakhstan.
Yeah.
Let's go. Represent Kazakhstan. I've been waiting for a fighter from Kazakhstan, man.
I hope he walks out to some. I hope somehow Sacha Baron Cohen gets involved and we can get him dressed up as Borat with a walkout with him if he makes it big time. Because I think that would instant stardom for Shavkat Rakhmonov. The thing is, I don't know if he's got a sense of humor like that though. They might. I think Kazakhstan hated that movie. I believe I've heard things like that.
I mean, that makes sense. That definitely there's a lot of sarcasm for sure.
Yeah.
I think he's Kazakhstan's new representative, man. Let's see him put on a good show. It's the right step for him. I think he's going to get the W.
All right, I am going with Shavkat Rakhmonov for the win, as are you, Mike. Good to hear some agreement. We're going to jump to the co-main event. The co-main event is serious action. It is Nick Maximov versus Sean Soriano. Maximov competes in submission underground. He's a Nick Diaz Army guy through and through. And you got to love the Nick Diaz Army team as a whole. Those guys are absolute savages. I mean, shit, I'm a big fan of Nick Diaz. I believe you are as well, Mike. I think majority of the sport
Yes,
is
sir.
a Diaz fan. If you were a fan of the sport, like prior to the McGregor era, you love Nick Diaz. He's the true OG. Maximov is the next guy, the next one that's coming out of that staple gym. Hopefully he's one that can bring some steam, because let's be honest, the Nick Diaz Army's guys haven't been performing extraordinarily well. And Maximov might be a difference maker as far as the team goes, whereas Soriano is a proven guy. He has knockout power, brings the heat, a lot of pressure. It's interesting to see sophomore appearance for Maximov being this big of a step up, because I consider Soriano not necessarily top tier, but upper tier, for as far as middleweight prospects would go. Either there's a lot of confidence on the Maximov side from the matchmakers, or they're trying to kill this prospect off. Mike, who do you think wins this fight? I want you to give you a take first.
Soriano's going to knock him out, man. I think Soriano just has the right experience. It's the right fight for him. He's in the correct spot. And it's Maximov who has all of he's going to have to close the distance and get Soriano on his back. And that is tough, because you got to walk through some bombs. Soriano can decapitate people. So Maximov, if he's going to do well, he's going to have to get a hold of Soriano and implement his jiu-jitsu. I do think he is superior on the ground. That would make a lot of sense. And he's not a slouch on the feet either. And of course, the striking level over at the Diaz Academy is going to be excellent. They've got a lot of boxers who come through there to spar. And, that's pretty much what Soriano brings. Soriano likes to bend his knees, get real low, and he'll move his head and throw those big bombs. And I think it's just going to work for him in this fight, man. I like Soriano in this one. Pretty confident in him. I'm going to go with Soriano with a nice left hook, right hand, left hook, just knock out. He's going to look good doing it.
Mike, I may be sick in the head. I may be crazy. And I may be a true tinfoil hatter. Might have to get one made for the fight companion this week when this fight starts.
Maximov KO? What are you going to tell me right now?
I'm not going that crazy. Come on, man. But I'll tell you this. I was looking into the wrestling credentials a bit. Maximov doesn't have necessarily the best wrestling background, but he did wrestle at like a lower level collegiate level.
Yeah.
Same with Soriano, lower level collegiate level. What I saw from Maximov against Cody Brundridge is he can out wrestle guys that have technically better wrestling games, even though I don't see Maximov as like the best MMA wrestler. What I see is a very persistent style of wrestling attack. Soriano lets his hands fly, but he's yet to face someone that is as much of a threat on the floor as Maximov is to him purely. I mean, if you look at Brendan Allen, he's a pretty good submission guy as well, but confident striking, likes the kickboxing game. I feel like Maximov might surprise a lot of people in this spot. I feel like he's going to look to get the fight to the ground. I think that if he does, he will find opportunities. I like the way he climbs to the back. I think he might grind against the cage. I don't know, man. I'm like still very torn on this fight. I'm not going to lie to you guys. I've been on the dog all week. I said I want to see them on the scales. Of course, the face-off is going to tell me a lot in this fight. I really feel I want to see the mental game of Maximov. What I've seen is stone cold mentality. I don't know if I'm on the Soriano is overrated side, but I don't know if he has as much power as we've hyped it up to be. I mean, yes, he had a great performance against Dushko Todorovic, was able to put him to sleep. Then Brendan Allen outstrikes him pretty cleanly for 3 rounds. Maximov doesn't have the stand-up game, but what he does bring is a nasty jiu-jitsu skill set. I'm a Nick Diaz Army guy through and through, and I'm riding with Nick Diaz Army. Nick Maximov for the win.
Hey.
I'm going for it. Submission. Let's go crazy. Submission. I don't know. Well, I'm going to say subject to change if the face-off tells me something different, but I've been having this weird feeling about this fight all week, man. I don't know. You know what? If Maximov gets beat up, stopped in 1 round, I'd say, hey, I guess I got a little too crazy, man. I'm seeing things fucking nuts, but I'm going Maximov upset. I'm picking it. Fuck it.
I would like to see it. I would like to see it, man. I think the Diaz army needs to grow. They need some soldiers out here representing, because they don't, their record isn't so hot underneath the Diaz brothers themselves. Of course, if you go wider, like the Scrap Pack has a bunch of killers: Jake Shields, Gilbert Melendez. You keep going down the list. But as far as their students go, I don't know that Maximov is going to be able to get that takedown, and that's really what he needs at the end of the day. I think this fight is as simple as, can Maximov get a takedown or control Soriano on the fence? I'm going to guess no, and that's why I'm going Soriano KO. It's not that I think Soriano is Superman. He is vulnerable himself, but the way he tucks his chin and throws, I'm not so concerned about him getting clipped. And, I do think he's going to carry a pretty significant power advantage in this one. So that's what I'm seeing, brother. But I like that you're on the other side. Good. This gives the people something to look at, a little debate here.
Little chaos, man. A little chaotic side of things for me. I mean, Maximov win, the odds plus 170 for him at best value, minus 180 Punale Soriano. If you like the submission prop, which I'm not suggesting you go out and play, but win by submission for Maximov is pretty valuable, plus 550. So there's some pretty decent opportunity there. I like Maximov. You like Soriano. I might be a madman. We'll find out on fight night. I'm either a genius or insane. And I guess the only thing we are. But the only thing that'll separate the truth is when they throw down. So we'll find out when they get into the cage. We have a very big fight to talk about next. It is the final fight on this card, the main event of the evening. Guys, it's Jack Hermansson, Sean Strickland. Make sure you smash the likes, guys. Subscribe if you're new. Show some love to me, to Mike. Give him a follow as well. I always link his channel in the description. But you guys are needed on more than just that here. And share, of course, too. Make sure you go to the poll. I'm saying it again. I'm giving myself another plug here. Full Send said, we want an MMA podcast. We want an MMA guy on. I made it to the top 20. Help your boy out. Make sure to vote. I got it linked in the description. I got it linked up in the live chat. I got it all over my Instagram, my Twitter, everything you can find me on. You see this link. I also posted it on the channel as a post, a written post. So make sure you give me a vote. It'll take 2 seconds. No sign up required. You just go, you click MMA experts, and boom, you might be seeing me on the Full Send podcast. So definitely show me some love and help me out with that, man. Just had to give the final plug out here, man. So let's get it. Main event time, Mike. Let's go. I'm excited as hell. And I feel like it's just respectable, tradition. I like to let you lead off the main event. I want you to give us the depth of this fight. Sean Strickland is a crazy man. He fights someone a lot more sane than, himself, Jack Hermansson. Stylistic matchup is interesting. You have more of the bloodbath striker, I'll call Sean Strickland, versus, your intelligent warrior, a guy who wants to control on the floor, has a very good submission game, maybe even getting slept on a bit by a lot of people after disappointing losses, hard-fought decisions. Still a proven guy. Mike, where do you lean on this one? Give me your take to start it off.
Hermansson is better on the ground. A lot of people are telling me that Strickland has underrated grappling and whatnot. Of course, he's training at Extreme Couture, which is a great gym to train at if you're trying to prepare with wrestling. But Hermansson's got a better submission game, man. It's proven. Look, he might have got beat in that wrestling match against Hamzat, but he at least showed, some of what he can do. He is a good Greco wrestler. He does understand wrestling, freestyle wrestling specifically, and his submission game is nasty, AJ. If this thing ends up on the ground, guys, it's 25 minutes. It's the small cage. It's the UFC Apex, okay? I always try to identify that, because when I hear people make predictions and whatnot, they never bring that in there. Guys, that does matter, especially the bigger they get. The smaller that freaking cage seems when they're in there. So with that smaller cage, you could see more opportunities for Hermansson to fight closer. And if Hermansson fights closer and he's able to get clinches and takedowns, everything changes in this fight. If Hermansson finds his way on top of Strickland, that might be all he needs. He might need to get on top in this fight one time to find a choke, to find a leg lock, to come home with something. Kelvin Gastelum decided to clinch up with Hermansson and throw him on the ground. Within seconds, Kelvin was tapping from getting leg locked. So Hermansson has an underrated submission game. I think we're at the beginning of seeing high-level leg locks in MMA. Hermansson's one of those guys who has a great honey hole, a great Ashigarami game, and you guys are going to see more of that Danaher Death Squad jiu-jitsu out here because it's all for free on the internet. Doesn't matter where you live. Everybody's studying that stuff now. If you guys look at Nogi grappling, the number one submissions now are leg locks. Those are the most effective. So in MMA, you're slowly seeing that. So Strickland better watch his damn feet, okay? With all that being said, Strickland's going to outbox him big time. Strickland's loose, man. Loose, relaxed. The biggest difference I see in this fight is the hands, man. Hermansson, just too, what is this? What are these blocks, man? You don't have boxing gloves on, Hermansson. People are going to fit their fist through that hole. I can't just come forward and cover like this because you know Strickland's going to be loose, relaxed, popping that jab out there. I think Strickland's going to put on a boxing clinic on Hermansson, especially after I got to see what Marvin Vettori did against Hermansson. Hermansson was not able to deal with Vettori because he couldn't get him to the ground, and Vettori was able to outbox him. Well, if Vettori's outstriking you, I'm really, really confident that Strickland, who has really nice, loose, quick, low energy, doesn't spend a lot of his gas, and is able to put a high output on people, sort of Nate Diaz style, in his own way, though. Man, I like Strickland in this fight. I really think he's going to control the striking. That being said, there is a mismatch also on the ground. So I'm looking at this as striker versus grappler. I think it's all up to Hermansson to get the takedown. Will he be able to do it? Well, Strickland's been training at Extreme Couture. I think Eric Nixick and all the great coaches over there are going to get him very ready for this one. I like Strickland via snapping punches and talking shit. That guy is crazy, and he'll get in your head when he's out there talking to you. Fall down, he's saying to his opponents, right? I think Strickland's going to have a showcase fight here. If he can keep it on the feet, keep it at a distance, his hands are going to look crispy. Strickland, by controlling this fight with his boxing.
I like to hear that, man. I'm a fan of the crispy boxing. A little bit of like a modified Philly shell for MMA you see from Strickland. That slickster style. I like seeing
that
it.
Shoulder.
Yeah, he shoulder rolls nicely. Pressures his opponents. I'll be honest, Jack Hermansson does not have quality boxing. It's one of his biggest weaknesses that really stifle his ground game. If Hermansson had a better boxing game, it changes the fight. Doesn't find his way inside with the jab at all. Sean Strickland peppers a beautiful jab. He can keep you stiff and away from him all night. I think Sean Strickland's hands will be on display. It's going to be pressure from the start. Best bet for Hermansson is clinch takedowns. Greco-Roman wrestler, not freestyle. Not easy to get inside of Sean Strickland and get him to the floor. Sean Strickland is going to piece up Hermansson for majority of this fight. It's going to be high pressure. It's going to be high volume. It's going to be round after round until I believe Hermansson can no longer continue. I will predict he will be able to no longer continue around 3 or 4. I'm thinking TKO. I think Sean Strickland is going to get the true blood in this fight. He's due for a big knockout win, especially on the biggest stage of the sport. I think it's going to be Sean Strickland knockout, 3rd or 4th round. He's putting Hermansson down. I feel like, as you said, the blocking of Hermansson, Strickland, especially with straight shots, is going to slip those through the guard. And even when you're blocking, he's still hitting. He's going to be hitting himself. He's going to get himself busted up with his forearms because those punches are coming at him. It's constant pressure. Too high volume. Also, the stamina Strickland's got, he's in incredible shape. And I also just feel like he loves to fight, and he's going to make it a fight. And I don't think Hermansson will fare well in a real dogfight with Sean Strickland. And I don't see him with the wrestling style and tools to turn this into a full-on grapple fest. He doesn't have that basic from range takedown mastered. You look at even against lesser guys, I believe Shabazian, he shot on from distance. It almost reminded me of like a Contender Series shot. He's stuck in low, as Cormier once said, shooting from 2 states over. I saw it come from a mile away. I might have been able to stop that fucking takedown. Like now you're talking Sean Strickland. It's Sean Strickland all day. He's going to get the win, and he's getting the stoppage. I cannot wait for this main event, Mike. Sean Strickland's quickly becoming one of my favorite guys to watch in MMA, period, regardless of organization.
He's a fun guy for sure. He's out of his freaking mind. Out of his mind. I like the lack of filter, though. I can definitely appreciate that in today's day and age. You said finish. And the reason why I'm not thinking that we get the finish here is partially one due to Hermansson's toughness. Hermansson can go through hell and back. You've seen him in wars before he got to the UFC, and in the UFC, you've seen him in wars. This guy is tough. He is durable, man. So I think that that's a big problem. And then the other thing is, you said that Sean Strickland is due for a knockout. Why? He has no power. I don't, where if he's going to knock somebody out, it's because he beat them to a pulp and they wilted, and in 25 minutes, that's one way I could see that happening, right? Because the fight's 25 minutes. But, with that being said, I just think that Hermansson's so damn tough. He's still going to freaking two black guys, his nose over here, his lips over here, the Mark Hominick, Jose Aldo thing on his forehead. I think he pushes through it, brother. I think Hermansson's one of the toughest human beings on this earth. He knows this is a big spotlight for a main event fight. He needs this fight. If you guys listen to the 1 hour interview he put out with the UFC, man, he seems like he's in a good mental place. And man, I think he's going to try to bring war here. Not to hammer it too much though, but AJ brought it up. I brought it up. Guys, when you're in the gym and you have 16-ounce boxing gloves on, you can block like this. And that big-ass boxing glove will catch those punches. In mixed martial arts, it's not the best method of blocking. What's much better is to make somebody miss you. When somebody misses you, there are no consequences. And when they miss you, you can now respond. If you sit there and eat it, it's a little bit harder to respond. You can do it, of course, but it's a little bit harder to respond because you're taking impact. You're getting knocked around by eating that shot. And then, of course, it could still find a home. It doesn't mean you're safe just because you put your hands up there. I don't want to see Hermansson with his usual game there. If he does bring that, if Hermansson has not been working on that, if they just ignorantly think that those blocks are going to work against Strickland, that's a perfect bad matchup. Strickland is going to come out there and put punches and bunches together. He's going to look good doing it. I'll go Strickland by decision.
I like it. Mike. I like that we differ on the method. Overall, it's a sweet main event. I cannot wait to see it. Got to shout out the people for showing some love with the votes, man. Make sure you give your boy a vote. Link in the description for that Full Send MMA podcast for me to join it. I made the top 20. Might as well make it all the way. So give your boy a vote. Link right in the description. Also got it locked up in the poll. We also have a question that I wanted to bring up here. Let's see if I can find it. Mike, I want you to answer this. Do you think ground and pound is possible from Jack? Do you think he gets on top and works some ground and pound on Sean Strickland? I personally I don't see it. I don't know about you though.
If he can get on top, then yes, his ground and pound will get to work, man. He's the type of guy who has a sense of urgency on the ground. We see a lot of wrestlers in mixed martial arts. We see a lot of people who, like, have you ever heard Daniel Cormier answer what his favorite position is when he's on the ground? He likes half guard. Half guard, huh? Half guard. Why? It's because you can't stand up. So these wrestlers like to hang onto a leg and hang out. Dude, to answer your mad, is that Hasbullah right there? What's up, Hasbullah? Thank you for the comment, Hasbullah. We appreciate you. It's going to be a guy who's trying to look for the finish. It's totally different when a Hermansson's on the ground with you. He's trying to crank your heel around so your knee blows out. He's trying to drop elbows on you to get the referee to step in. He is a finisher on the ground. So make no mistake, when they've got a hold of each other, if he's able to get this thing on the mat, it's a big problem. I think the issue, guys, is can he get him there? I like that Strickland's over at Extreme Couture. If he implements real simple underhooks, just jack that underhook out, get separation again, get back to boxing like he likes to do, I think Strickland is going to outbox him. If I had to give like an odds out here, I would say it's like a 90% chance this thing turns out into a striking match, right? So in that, you got to go with the boxing, man. I got to lean with Strickland.
Yeah, I'm with you on Strickland. I like him to win. Value side, betting, -205 Strickland. I actually like that play. +185 Hermansson. Both of us think this fight goes a little long, so over 2.5 rounds is -165. That's not a bad potential bet if you're looking to hammer a line with something. Also note this, Strickland via decision, +210. If you're on Mike's side, if you're on my side, you're thinking Strickland potentially by knockout, +225. Maybe you're going real crazy, like, listen, I want Strickland wins in rounds 3 and 4. You could play it at +1400 for 4, 3 +1000. So there's money to be made. Be cautious with the props. I say it every single time. The props are something you have to be intelligent with. Don't go too wild, but you can still cash nicely if the odds are in your favor enough. So what a card, man. We flew through it. It was absolute fire. I really enjoyed the hell out of it, Mike. How you
Hell
feeling?
yeah. Oh,
It was great.
super ready for this card, guys. Anytime Strickland's fighting, I'm excited. Anytime Hermansson's fighting, I'm excited, man. These are two guys I really like to keep track of, really like to watch. Two of the best fighters in the world. They got a lot to showcase for us. I think Hermansson's jiu-jitsu is still criminally underrated. He's one of the best in MMA at getting submissions, guys. Don't blink if this thing is on the ground. And who doesn't like a Sean Strickland fight? Guys, please enjoy this one. I know I will.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I don't think Jack will surprise Sean at all in the feed also to answer your question. If I didn't get to your question, I do apologize. We'll try to as best we can. Much love to everybody watching. I'm going to finally give myself one more, the final plug of the day. Go vote for your boy. Link is in the freaking live chat. It's in the description. Full Send said we want to bring an MMA guy on. I think I'm the perfect guy for the job. You guys know this. And hey, maybe I can somehow get Mike in there with me and we'll take over that Full Send army. You know what I'm saying?
Taking over.
It's easy. Click the link, click the vote. MMA experts, show some love, help me out. No sign up required. Just give your vote. Share it with everybody you know, even your crazy grandma that might have an iPhone but not even know how to use it. It would definitely help me out. So help your boy. Much love. Thank you guys all for tuning in. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe if you guys are new as well. But we're not done just yet because it seemed like we were done, but we're not, Mike. You know what time it is, Mike.
That's right.
That's right. It is my potentially maybe favorite time of the entire thing. Lock of the night time. Mike, we're going to talk locks of the night. We have one from me, one from Mike. Moneyline, no props, no parlays.
Right.
We keep it moneyline, keep it intelligent, keep you guys on the safer side. For me, I'm going to start it off, Mike. I have to. I'm going Chidi and Njokuani plus money. I'm taking Chidi all day. I think stylistically he matches up well with Barriault, wins a hard-fought decision. It might be a little bit more nerve-wracking of a bet, and I could have said, hey, let me play it on a minus 200, minus 300 favorite, but I got to pick that one. I like Chidi and Njokuani plus money, get it at like plus 105 range. I think he beats Marc-André Barriault. That is my money line lock of the night. Mike, what is yours?
Man, I was going to go Njokuani. I'll mix it up. Look, I think Witt's going to win this fight. It's because that he called for this. He wanted Rowe because he saw that he was a bad matchup for him, guys. There's no fight on the card where I'm like 100% sold, right? But I like Witt in that one. I really feel like because he's coming in with that confidence, he'll be able to make something happen. Maybe be careful on that one. I like what AJ said. I think he said maybe watch how the first round goes. I like live betting on that one. That makes perfect sense. I'll go lock of the night, Witt. I'm going out on a little limb there. I do like that one. Another lock to look at, just saying, would be Strickland. Strickland's going to have a good performance here, guys. I like this fight for Strickland. Makes perfect sense that he's going to put the kitchen sink out there. He's going to show his jab, his cross, his kicks. He should get loose against Hermansson. I think he's going to have a very impressive performance. And it's a big spotlight for him. Maybe he even surprises me with the finish, and AJ will be a very happy man if he does. Either way, that's a fun fight. I like those two.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome, man. I'm super excited. This card is going to be heat, guys. I cannot wait. Going to be awesome from bottom all the way up to the top. I'll be live for the whole thing, so you make sure you guys tune to the fight companion. I don't know about Mike. We'll see what happens. I'll talk to him. You know, this is something off there.
Bro.
We'll see. We'll see. The invite is always there.
I'm on.
Mike.
I'm on. Fuck it.
He's in. Mike's in.
I keep drinking alcohol while we're going. You're getting me too messed up. Are you going to do another shoey? Let us know. Are we going to set a bar for a shoey again?
Okay, we'll set a bar for the shoey right now. It's going to be 115 likes for the shoey. I got to make it a little tougher. I can't make it too easy, but it's very attainable. We're going to break 115 live. So make sure you tune into the Fight Companion on Saturday. Also, something to note, I will be on Lock of the Night's channel. I'm doing the Ultimate Weigh-In show tomorrow at 3 p.m. So make sure you check me out on there. A lot of fun. Big things pumping. Mike, shout out your socials, man, so that people can find you.
Thank you so much, man. Yes, look, if you guys just type in Mike Finch Show or Mike Finch MMA on YouTube, you'll see my channel pop up right away. The Mike Finch Show also has a new segment. It's called Spotlight. We're going to talk to Lil Monster, who just got a performance of the night bonus at the last UFC event with a wicked armbar. We're going to be talking to a few, UFC fighters, Bellator fighters, LFA. I just talked to an LFA standout, Motaz Oscar. His brother is fighting Friday in the co-main event for LFA. I'm just going to keep those interviews rolling out, guys. guys, please keep in touch. Of course, keep it here at MMA Experts. AJ's got hella content for you. And if you guys would like to follow us on Instagram, MMA Experts, of course, and my stuff is all Mike Finch Show or Mike Finch MMA. You'll find me across all social media. Much love. We appreciate the sport. I've been reading in the comments, best MMA show, this and that. Guys, so much love. We really appreciate it. Let me send that love back. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. We got big things coming. We can't wait. Honestly, we're taking over here in 2022. Another big opportunity. The final shout out. Give me the vote for the Full Send team.
Hey!
They want an MMA guy. Mike might be coming with me. Who knows? If I have the power to do it, I'm bringing him right away. Vote. Link in the description. I want to take over. It gives us a huge opportunity and blows that platform up. Much love, guys. Give me a vote. Smash the likes here. Share the video. Do not forget to share this video. Let somebody you know, send them a link. Hey, check them out. Check these guys out. They might want to make some money betting, or they might want to listen to two savages talk the fights. Either or. This is a great show to do it at. Thank you guys so much. Really, you guys are fantastic. Much love. As I mentioned, catch me on Lock Show tomorrow. It's going to be 3 p.m. Eastern time. It's the ultimate weigh-in show. You guys are great. Really. So much love. Me and Mike will be live for that Fight Companion. We're taking over the Fight Companion game as well. We got the Moneyline and we got those Fight Companions. Keep it locked in. Subscribe. Turn the post notifications on.
We're not coming here to take part. We're coming here to take over. Let's go.
Let's go. Mike, I love it. I love it. I love it. Let's go. Thank you guys so much. You're all amazing. You guys are great. We really love you more than anything. Peace, guys. Much love. Give me the vote and share it with everybody you know, baby. Let's take over in 2022. Thank you, guys. And we'll see you all in the next one. Peace.